Yo, somehow you get me only, but then I'm waiting for the guys. So welcome to Never a Foul. It's your boy Mo. I'm waiting for Cass, Dawood, Daps. So I thought I don't want to keep you waiting. So hit that like button for us. Spice Wabab is saying 15 minutes late. Yes, 15 minutes late. Sometimes you have to wait for the creme de la creme. Daps, Cass broke today the curse of the DR Media. They won today 2-0, and Garnacho scored. Absolutely phenomenal goal by this kid. I think he's going to be a wonder kid. But big up everyone that is here with us. Make sure to hit that like button for me. For some reason, this is not working. I don't know why, but I'm about to fix it, of course. We'll see how it is. We'll see how it is. I don't know about how's everybody doing. Chelsea fans buzzing about Pochettino, of course. Liverpool fans can't wait for Monday. Hello, everybody that is here with me. Cannot wait for Monday after Newcastle drop. They look like the team that might be dropping from the top four. One day. Today, to be honest, they should have won the game. It was in their hands, and then they kept like playing around, and they just didn't do it. They didn't finish the job. You know what I mean? They did not finish the job. Big up everybody that is here. Big up everybody that is joined Never a Foul and waiting for the Saturday night show, the extra time debate. Of course, I want you guys to hit that like button for me. I know I'm talking about myself. The wood is going to be here, but let's talk about the games a little bit. But how's everybody? How's your Saturday night? Let me know in the comments. How is your Saturday night? How are you feeling about the game? Chelsea fans buzzing for Pochettino, but are you happy about the performance today? Are you happy about the performance today? Spurs fans, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. You're not it. Aston Villa did one on you today. Aston Villa did one on you today. Aston Villa, Aston Villa, what a team. What a coach, Unai Emery. And the team had Spurs on the ropes in that first half. I'm not sure. A lot of people, like, there's a lot of 3 o'clock games today. So it was a little bit of like, yeah, are they good? Are they not good? Spurs, which Spurs is going to show up? Yes, Terence Tips. Spurs fans are broken. Completely broken, to be honest. And yes, Angel Lukaku today. Well, Chelsea fans, are you watching Lukaku? I'm happy. Masterclass, yes. Are you guys watching Lukaku? Oh my God, that first goal was like, was fantastic. You know, I was watching. I'm like, this is the guy. This is the guy that I was waiting for. But Cass and Daps and Dawood will be joining us soon enough. They're just late. Cass was in DR. I think Daps has, while she's streaming, you get the guys screaming. There is like Eurovision or something going on, but everybody stay with us. We're waiting for the guys to join. Please give us 50 million. We're not giving you anything. It's a very random stream, of course. Now we're talking about Lukaku, Chelsea, Man United, Spurs, but let me start with Spurs because I want to talk about Man United with Cass today. Let's talk about Spurs. What is happening with, because they had 0 shots in the first half. Completely 0 shots in the first half. They were dominated in the first half. Aston Villa showed them levels. Aston Villa. It was, I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm so happy because my team won and we secured top 4 Champions League. We're on our way to a Champions League final, so that's why I'm happy. How did you become an Inter fan? If anybody wants to know, it's 98. I'm looking for 2 players. I'm looking for R9 and I'm looking for Roberto Baggio. And I love blue, so I look, and both of them play for Inter, so I support Inter, and it has been a journey since then. But I've been always a fan of the Premier League, but I supported Inter because of the colors and because of these 2 players. To be honest, Newcastle are going to bottle top 4. But let me start with Spurs. What do they want? What do Spurs want? It was unbelievable today. It was ridiculous. You know what I mean? I'm happy because Spurs lost. I've been labeled. You guys remember, everybody, that I was labeled a Spurs fan. I don't live in Milan. I live in America. Everybody said that I was a Spurs fan. I like Antonio Conte because Antonio Conte, I think, is a fantastic coach. Maybe not this year, but he has always been class, like with Chelsea, with Juventus, with Inter, with the Italian national team. He was class, but Spurs broke the guy. You know what I mean? Spurs, they're broken. It's a broken club somehow. Yes, they're on the beach. Spurs, no, they still had a chance to play Europe. No, Spurs are not. Sid here is saying that Spurs are simply on the beach. They are not on the beach. They have a chance to play Europe next year, guys. To play Europe next year, but for some reason, it's strange. I live in Texas, Houston, Texas. If anybody's asking, do you want me to tell you my address as well? I can tell you my address. He is Al Ahli fan first. Big up. Oh yeah, Mina Sedhum. I am. I'm actually a member. I played a season in Al Ahli when I was a youngster, 16 years old, 15 years old. I played. So Spurs break managers. Nagelsmann knows. That's why he didn't join. But people want to say that Spurs rejected Nagelsmann, and I say it's other way around. Nagelsmann did not want to join Spurs, and it's just Spurs PR. But guys, I have only 30 likes, and there's 80 people here. Guys, hit that like button for me. Hit that like button for me. Give me at least a 50. Like, respect me. I'm here, right? I didn't wait for the guys to join, but I'm here. So give me 50 likes. Hit that like button. It's underneath your live chat. It looks like this. It looks like this. So it's like this. Thumbs up. Make sure it's lit. Make sure it's lit. I want to see 50. You know, like I see the counter right here. It's in front of me. But what are you guys saying about Spurs? Do we think that next year? Now, let me talk about the game first, and then I'm going to talk about what I'm expecting from them next year. Spurs, this game completely dominated in the first half. Absolutely, completely dominated in every aspect of the game. Tactically, technically, they were inferior to this magnificent Aston Villa team. And I call them magnificent because Aston Villa plays some scintillating football, to be honest. In the first half, Aston Villa created a couple of chances and Spurs just fell offside. Son is done. I think he's done. I think the kid is done. Solo shot. People joining, and I really, I really want to. One Cass might be joining. Dawood might be joining. Once they join me, I will be adding them to the stream right away, and we're gonna have a talk. Daps should be joining. I think they are late a little bit. I think they might be joining at 10:30. You guys wanna? I can. If they don't join, I can open the stream, and you guys can come in, and people can have their say. 100%. You can have your say. I can try to do that, of course, for you if you want. Would you guys like that to have your say? But let me talk about Spurs. Oh, you guys don't wanna? You don't wanna hear me talk about Spurs? You don't wanna hear me talk about the games? I'm not good enough for you or something. I'm not good enough. Oh man, listen. I've been awake since 6 in the morning watching football, and I just finished now. I just finished watching football. I like it's ridiculous. I've been awake now. How many hours? 10 hours now. People want to join to have their say. Let me try. Let me actually fix something for you. Let me fix something for you. So maybe you guys can join and have your say a little bit. Yeah. So maybe if I do this, if I do that, if I do this, if I do that, maybe I can have you guys have your say. So maybe let me see. But let me first wait for them. Let me wait for them and see if they're gonna join us. So now, how many people? We have 90 people here. I'm impartial. Listen, let me just confess. I'm not impartial. Of course, I will have a little bit of like a sentiment with this club. I'm always sentimental with the underdogs, and I always like the underdog story. I always like that. The underdog story is beautiful, to be honest. Not Chelsea underdog, because Chelsea cannot be underdog. Cannot be underdog for sure. They cannot. Chelsea cannot be underdog. When you spend 600 million, you cannot be underdog. But Spurs, though, talk to me about Spurs. Talk to me about Richarlison. How is this guy? This guy is gonna get away with murder in the Premier League. To be honest, he's gonna get away with murder. He's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't know if he can be a footballer or not. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. Sid is saying Hope Cass is ready if he can join, but I'm not sure. Richarlison, Harry Kane today, another stat padding, another goal, penalty, of course. Oh yeah, another goal for Harry Kane, but it didn't do anything for the team. He didn't do anything for the Davis and Longley on the left side. What is Mason doing? What is Ryan Mason doing? They were absolutely ridiculous. We are safe, so we're playing in the Premier League is great. Yes, Sid. Yes, Sid. Yes, Sid. You are playing in the Premier League is absolutely fantastic. It's fantastic. Oh my God, 53 likes and 100 people here. It's absolutely phenomenal to have you guys here. Ridiculously good. But Spurs, who's going to be their manager next year? We have no idea. Nagelsmann is not there. Now, Pochettino officially joined Chelsea. Who is going to be their coach? Who is going to manage the Spurs team? Nobody. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Did you get this Amorim guy from Sporting or something? Rodgers. Yes. It might be Brendan Rodgers. It might be Brendan Rodgers. And they might sit off for Brendan Rodgers. People saying Sean Dyche. People saying Ryan Mason. It is turning into a joke, isn't it? It's turning into a joke. Spurs, right? And I think they will sell Harry Kane. I think Harry Kane is done. He's gonna join Man United. He's gonna try to win a trophy, and he's gonna continue with the record, in my opinion. He's gonna continue with the record. But Aston Villa, though, that table, that Aston Villa team has some gems. Jacob Ramsey, McGinn, Leon Bailey played well today. Buendia played okay today. So I know people say, yeah, talk about Spurs, let's talk about Spurs, but what about Aston Villa? Can we give them some props? Can we give Aston Villa some props? If anybody is watching Aston Villa, they play really good football. They play really, really, really good football. Højbjerg today wasn't great. Romero. I'm done with this guy. Romero, people tell me Rolls-Royce center back. Romero, absolutely not. Romero is definitely not a top center back. He's absolutely not it. Like diving in tackles, jumping in the tackles, and all this. Oh my God, this guy is so he's just so rash. He isn't it. He isn't it. Romero, and he's not the guy to play in a back four as well. So a new coach coming in next year, and Romero plays in a back four. Is that good for them? No, it's not. Eric Dyer, nah. Emerson Royale, get him out. Get him out of there. He's not that guy. Spurs needs a complete overhaul. Complete overhaul, in my opinion. This team. Oh, Forster today. Oh my God, did you see that free kick? Did you see that free kick? How is this guy Forster is still a goalkeeper in the Premier League? Is beyond me. It's beyond me. It's beyond me. It's ridiculous, to be honest. It's absolutely ridiculous. This guy. I'm not sure why is he not. I don't get it. I don't get Spurs, to be honest. But it's building. We're building. I wanna try to invite people. I know some of you guys want to join. Oh, it's Dawood is joining us. So I'm gonna be joined by Dawood. Who is wearing a completely new jersey or something. Dawood, I'm not. Let me just try to fix something, Dawood, because I'm not sure if this is working. Oh, so here you go. I think now it is working. Now it is working. Yes, audio. Yeah, and Dawood, where are you? Where are you? Oh, yeah. I need to fix the overlay. So Dawood is gonna be here. We're gonna change this overlay to have Dawood on, and he is here. Dawood is with us. So
Thank you for having me on.
I was flying solo, my man. I was
Where
flying.
you are? Where's the rest of the gang?
I don't know where Cass is coming back from DR unless something happened to the train. I don't know. But how are you feeling? How are you feeling? I know you had nothing today, but you watch any of the games?
Yeah. I watched the first game, Newcastle Leeds United, just to see if Newcastle won today, they would have obviously secured top four, but yeah, they struggled. They struggled against Leeds United, who are in a relegation battle. I'm worried about Newcastle because
They didn't struggle, Dawood. They didn't. Newcastle didn't struggle at all. No,
you don't think so?
No,
Because if Bamford scored that penalty,
okay. After that penalty, Newcastle cruised. It could have been 4-1. They were walking on the pitch. Yeah,
I know, but that's the problem. They weren't clinical enough. And then so they let Leeds United come at them, and then when they scored that goal, deflection from I think it was Trippier, and they went in goal. After that, it was I don't know who's going to get the winner. So it turned into a match where it's you attack, we attack. And let's not talk about Firpo. Firpo, left back for Leeds United.
Oh my
That
God, this
guy was
guy.
on. That
Yeah,
guy was on a job to sabotage Leeds United. He does not want his own club to stay in the division, because that was one of the most sabotage performances I've seen in a while. That
yeah.
performance reminded me of last season when we had Cedric right back against Man United, and that guy tried to do a self-sabotage as well. So it's a good thing they got him sent off.
You know what the problem is? Dawood, is that this guy was good at Barcelona. He was okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't that bad. He looks like the worst player in a Leeds team that is struggling, which is astonishing.
Yeah.
A player coming from Barcelona, it tells you that some players are just not it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
He's
know,
26 years old.
But there's a lot of players that have come from Barcelona in the past 5 years and haven't really worked out under a lot of teams. So you've got players like Coutinho, was one of the best players in the world, goes to Aston Villa, can't even get any minutes. Unai Emery doesn't rate him at all, and I see him going in the summer. You see a lot of players leaving Barcelona that don't really make it. So I wasn't really surprised. But they find a way of selling their deadwood. They get good money for their deadwood.
Because it's Barcelona. It's Barcelona.
Yeah, I think it's the name. Doesn't matter how good the player is. If he's coming from Barcelona, a lot of teams will go after them.
Dawood has another team that he follows now. God, this is Spain national team jersey. It's not a club. It's not a club. But that game, though, did you think Newcastle's going to bottle it?
Now United are confirmed. I think United are confirmed. They need 2 more wins in the next 3 games. So I don't think United are going to drop any more points. Newcastle are the only ones now that I'm a bit worried about.
They have back-to-back home games.
Who they got next?
They got Brighton and then Leicester at home. Brighton at home, Leicester at home.
Brighton, I think that's a make. Brighton this Thursday coming up on the 18th. So I'm not sure, because if they lose that game, I think they play the same amount of games as they have. Yeah, so they play the same amount against Liverpool. Yeah, I think I've looked at it. They're 4 points ahead of Liverpool. Yeah, so even if they lose against Brighton.
Brighton play you tomorrow Sunday, and then they play Thursday. So Newcastle have more days off.
Yeah. So I'm looking at because they're 4 points ahead of Liverpool with the amount of games they play the same amount of games. Brighton, if they lose against Brighton, I think they'll still beat Chelsea. I think they've got Chelsea and Leicester at home. Chelsea away.
I think if they get, do you want honesty? Newcastle 66 points. I'm not sure if Liverpool will win every game.
You don't think
I don't know why people say they will win every game. They play Aston Villa. They play Leicester away. I'm not sure. I don't think that Liverpool will win every game.
Liverpool got some They've got Southampton who are already relegated. They've got Leicester City who are basically relegated. I don't see Leicester getting any result against Liverpool. And they've got Aston Villa at home. I think that's their last home game of the season. So where do you see Liverpool dropping points? I don't see Liverpool dropping points.
I think they might drop points against Aston Villa. Aston Villa are strong, bro.
They're strong. Aston Villa.
I was talking about the Spurs game. I know. Let's finish the Newcastle game and we'll talk about Aston Villa. But Aston Villa is something, bro. They are really something.
The disrespect. Let's talk about Unai Emery for a minute, because when he came to Aston Villa, people they didn't respect him when he was at Arsenal, because I felt sorry for him when he was there. They were basically mocking him for the way he spoke, and he became a meme and on social media with "Good evening." So that's the only thing that they could remember him for. By the way,
today in the interview he said "Good evening." Finally.
Oh, finally.
I swear, bro. I swear he said "Good evening" today, and I'm like, okay, I'm so happy for this guy.
Yeah.
I love this guy. I love Unai Emery.
Yeah.
What a character. Yeah. What the guy. His interview.
Aston Villa is perfect for him. That kind of club where the expectation isn't. Aston Villa, a similar stature with Sevilla. They've got a bit of history in European competitions. They've got owners now where they're backing Unai Emery, and if they somehow next season, because I don't think they'll be able to get the 7th, so they can still get Europa League, because they've played the same amount. They're on the same points as Tottenham Hotspur, played the same amount of games, but wow,
And
Brighton
they are
played
only 5
3 games
points
less.
behind Liverpool. They're only 5 points behind. If Liverpool lose to Leicester, they can catch them. Aston
I
Villa.
know, but I think is it
The
Europa League
goal difference. The goal
fifth and
difference is
sixth in
big.
Europa League? Is that right? Fifth and
I
sixth.
think so because it's Man United and Man City in the final of the cup. Because
Yeah.
when you win the FA Cup, I think you go to the Europa League, and because of that, it's going to be fifth and sixth, and then seventh will be
Yeah. Yeah, Conference League. Yeah, Conference League.
Listen, how about I invite people to the show, and
Okay.
then we'll see. But I'll give people like 5 minutes max. If you're not saying something, I'm gonna give people 5 minutes. We'll see how many people will join us. Okay.
Okay.
And then you guys can ask Dawood, can ask me anything, but make it relevant. Make it relevant. Okay.
Football related.
Football related, guys. Please, please, please. Here you go. This is gonna be and I'm
I
gonna
don't mind.
also, the members will get priority for this. So the membership is in the description. So if you're a member, you jump the line. Okay.
But yeah, just start speaking about Aston Villa. Wow, what a job he's done.
And you have to have a camera.
Yeah.
You have to have a camera. Let me, guys, ask you something. I need you guys to hit that like button for me. Just hit that like button for me. If you don't hit it, you're disrespecting us. So hit that like button. But let's talk about Aston Villa and Spurs a little bit. I know it's your rivals, Spurs. What a shambles! They have no shots. No shots in the first half. Shambles, bro. Shambles.
Tottenham Hotspur now. I don't know how to explain Tottenham Hotspur. They've written the season off. They've absolutely written the season off exactly like Chelsea. They can't get in a new manager. There's rumours that Nagelsmann has rejected Tottenham Hotspur because they can't match his demands. So they can't get Nagelsmann. Pochettino's gone to Chelsea, so he won't come back.
Yeah.
They're highly unlikely to get Luis Enrique. So who's there on the market right now that's going to improve Tottenham Hotspur? I think Tottenham Hotspur fans need to embrace it. They need to embrace Ryan Mason as their manager for next season. I don't think they can get any better than Ryan Mason because what is he? He's one of your club legends. He's done well for you guys. Give him a full season because you're not getting anyone better. Mourinho's not coming back to you guys. Pochettino's not coming back. You're not getting Luis Enrique. You're not getting Nagelsmann. So don't even think about getting manager like Zidane. So
100%.
I don't know where
they're not getting. Zidane is not. If Zidane was approached by bigger clubs, and
people are saying Brendan. Someone said Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah,
Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, I could see that because he walked out of that Leicester job where he knew Leicester when they relegated, so he gave up on that.
Yeah.
So he suits Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah. Let me get Sid in. Sid is here with us. What's going on, Sid? How are you doing? You're buzzing, huh? You're buzzing because of Pochettino. Sid is a Chelsea fan, long-time member.
Not buzzing, but it's good because he has worked with young players very well. His CV shows that, and I don't think we are able to challenge anytime soon. So it's good to go on a proper project, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To be honest, Sid, Pochettino isn't the guy for Chelsea, bro. He isn't. You are like the Chelsea Football Club need a top manager, like someone who's like gonna come in and win trophies.
We need a character, in my opinion. A character.
Pochettino isn't the guy. To be honest, he isn't.
Pochettino is a stopgap. I think it's a stopgap for Chelsea because
he can make the squad good and take us to that next level, like finishing in top 4 for a season or two. And then if we are not progressing, we can hire a top manager.
Yeah, because right now they're just trying to stop the bleeding because Chelsea right now they're not getting any better. So they need a manager that could bring them back to the basics. Yeah. So basics as in like finishing back into the top 4, becoming like a functioning club. Because Pochettino, he knows how to work with a functioning team, as in when he was working with Tottenham Hotspur. He knows how to work with a dysfunctional team, as in PSG when he was there. So he's got the mix of both worlds, and I think when he goes to Chelsea, he'll know who the right people are, who the right attitudes are. And I think next season, I don't think Chelsea will still finish top 4 because they've got a lot of work to do. Because I don't see Chelsea getting rid of 15 players in the summer window, because they need to get rid of a lot of players, and they've still got 5-6 players out on loan to come back. So players like Hudson-Odoi, Romelu
Mo
Lukaku.
can help in that.
Yeah,
Mo can
so
help in that.
so you got a lot of work to do. So, and a lot of clubs know that you're desperate to sell your players, so they might say, even someone like Ziyech, they'll say we'll only bid 10 million for Ziyech because we know you want to sell him, we know he wants to leave. So Chelsea might need to take a massive hit on their transfer and take a loss, because we did that with Arsenal when Arteta came and we had a lot of deadwood, and every rival club knew that these were deadwood and they were giving us pennies. So I think you might need to do the same thing for Chelsea.
Hold on. People are saying, come on, Mo, you rate Conte. Poch is far better than Conte. I'm going to let the guys respond. You said you respond. Why not? Answer them.
No, I don't think so. No, because Conte is a serial winner. Everyone knows that. It might not have worked with Spurs because nothing worked with Spurs. So we can't say that Conte is a bad manager just back of one season, because he won Serie A with Inter, I guess, before coming to Spurs. And it was due to Inter wanted to sell players because of the COVID, I guess. That's why he left.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Inter wanted to sell players. Spurs didn't have the right squad. Like, look at what he did with Chelsea. Look at how even Eden Hazard. Look at the season that Eden Hazard had under Antonio Conte. It was magnificent. It was absolutely scintillating.
Yeah.
I think Antonio Conte fixed Juventus, fixed Chelsea, and fixed Inter. And people want to tell me he's a failure. How can he fix 3 clubs in a row and you'll come a failure? It's impossible.
No, but when you say fixing is like coming to the club, fixing it, and leaving it on good terms.
No, but this guy's a moaner, Dawood. So the problem with him, he thinks. Go ahead.
Where he came early and made them win Serie A titles and then left. It was with Juventus that we can say he fixed it, because our squad was good. We finished 10th before Conte came because of internal issues like the doctor issue with Mourinho and all of that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
The squad was good.
People like for this example, I want to like Conte is a back 3 merchant. Fraser, what do Man City play now? How
you can say that?
Now,
you can say that, but
they 100% play back 3 now. They absolutely play back 3 now.
Off the ball, on the ball, sorry, they play a back 3 with John Stones going to midfield. But
even
still,
off the ball sometimes.
On the ball.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Who was marking Vinny Jr. in the last game?
Kyle Walker.
So who was the right back on paper? John Stones.
Oh, Mohammed, come on, man.
No,
are you trying to say that Man City played a back 3 against Real Madrid?
No. Do you know why they play back 3? Because it works for them now with Haaland. It works for them.
I know, but
maybe we'll play back. See, people say so look at this. Look at the difference. You said they play on the ball back 3. Fraser, he said no, on the ball they play back 4. It's back 3, guys. It is a back 3.
In my opinion, on the ball.
It's a back 3. It's a back 3. But anyway, back 3, back 4, it doesn't matter. Let's just forget Pochettino. What is he gonna do at Chelsea? Is he gonna be able to get rid of the players?
I think it's a very tough job. Like people are saying, we need to get rid of Cucurella and all, which we bought in last summer, which is going to be very tough. So it's a tough job because we have many players. It's like a yard sale. We need to put a banner of discount for players on the gate of Stamford Bridge or something.
Yeah. Okay, so let me add Adrian then, because he's a Chelsea fan as well, I think. Adrian, you're with us. It's very dark where you are.
Yeah, my bad, man. It's just trying to get the wife. Does it sound good, bro? Or is it,
actually, you sound really good, and the phone looked really good. It's just you're very close to your face and make
the phone, bro. I'm basically right next to the Wi-Fi, so I'm just trying to just make sure.
So you're a Chelsea fan.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I agree with the overarching point that outgoings are going to be very important for this Chelsea summer window. Because let's be honest, this result, bad result, but everyone saw it coming. Like they're on like cloud 11 right now. Right now for Chelsea, it's about
we are on beach
literally
properly.
So this is what I will say, right? The outgoings are so much more important than the ingoings, yes. But from what I understand about the contract situation and with the amount of length of certain players, 5 players have only got 1 year left on their deal or already terminating their deal. So you're already halfway there, I think, with some of the players. And then you've got to make hard decisions about players who have high value in the market. Because like you guys have said, there are some players who are going to be difficult to sell.
Yeah.
But when you look someone like a Conor Gallagher, although people might not rate him technically, you can get 50, 60 million pounds from it. Yes. There was a bid for 60 million pounds.
Newcastle want him.
Because I think in the right pressing system, he can be very effective and he is a goal-scoring threat. And I think Premier League clubs like that. Lukaku will be interesting. I think he'll speak with Poch, who is now confirmed as a new manager. I don't know if it's 100% sure if he wants to come back. I know clubs are definitely interested in him.
He doesn't want to go back.
He
doesn't want to go back. He wants to stay at Inter. Inter said
no. But Inter Milan don't want to keep him.
I will tell you a club that you guys might not be thinking about. Atletico. I think Atletico might take him.
That's a shout,
how much, bro? How much?
He's willing to take a wage cut. Apparently, that's what the reports are saying.
I'd value him about 30 million pounds.
So, and then what you have to also consider is the João Felix situation.
Yeah.
So apparently something can be worked out there. So if there's no situation with Inter willing to take back Lukaku, also that goal he scored by the way today. Oh my goodness,
that was
crazy. But yeah, that's the thing. So I think even with the Lukaku situation, there is a way to resolve it. It's going to be difficult, but I think there are avenues for Chelsea to explore. When it comes to Poch as a manager, I understand the concerns, and I also have some of those concerns myself. But I look at the types of managers who are succeeding in the Premier League right now and the type of style of play you need to have, as well as the sort of the characteristics you require. I feel like his style will translate a lot better to other managers we were linked to, and a lot of managers that fans wanted to bring in, like a Mourinho or an Ancelotti or that kind of stuff. It's very difficult to actually describe.
I preferred actually Luis Enrique.
The problem with Enrique is I don't know how good his club management is, because he's been out for 7-8 years. And the big issue with him is he would need very, very specific profiles.
Specific players who are good on the ball.
You also have to look at his international career. I think some of his decision-making tactically has been very questionable. Like when you're getting tactically outclassed in midfield by Japan and Morocco, when you have that Spanish midfield and you're playing Rodri as your centre-back, I have concerns.
Yeah.
So, and then you also have to take into the fact that no one knows just how good of a manager he truly is in terms of a club perspective, because of the team he managed. You know what I mean? So it's not entirely his fault, because he where else was he about to do? And then I fully understand why people want Enrique. My only issue is that I don't know how well his tactics will translate right now in the current era after he hasn't managed.
I understand the Poch appointment, which is good because he has worked with young players. But I said from the start on this channel, I was coming from the start, and I said Luis Enrique is my preferred option.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, 100%. I think mine was, I said if the board were willing to work with him, I said Nagelsmann. But I said it wouldn't be easy.
What?
Just because Nagelsmann, a lot of people have tinted glasses over his career. People forget that when he lost 5-0 to Oli, lost 5-0 to Liverpool, constantly falling out with players at Bayern Munich, constantly falling out with players at RB Leipzig. Like, there are concerns with that. The only reason why I was backing Nagelsmann is because the technical directors and all those people that Chelsea have some of them are from RB Leipzig. So I thought there'd be a good connection there with the board and stuff. With Poch, I think the good thing is, I think like you guys have said about the young players and stuff, I think there's an avenue for him to work on it. When you guys talked about can Chelsea get top 4 next season, if we're going off what the reports are saying, if they do correctly address the key positions and are able to sell some of let's not say 10, let's just say 5 or 6, because even that's a lot, right? Yeah, I think it is possible. because I'm just going to give you a hypothetical name of players, right? These are profiles they're looking at. If you put in Romeo Lavia, Ivan Toney, and sorry, Mo, but Onana into that Chelsea lineup, it's a completely different team.
Let me tell you, Adrian, something, my man. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Chelsea Football Club, financial fair play is looking at you because you reported a loss of 600 million. Okay, you are allowed.
Okay, let me tell you something very quickly. How
finish.
many years does that go over?
Let me finish. 3 years. So
Okay.
Let me finish. But because of the COVID year, you reported a profit of 69 million pounds.
Yes.
If you get one more year without profit, year without profit, you'll get suspended from playing Europe. That's the problem.
And now, I don't know if
hear me out.
But, oh yeah, sorry, go on.
Let me finish the second thought.
Go
the problem with me is that your model of football is annoying. That new model, the old model, by the way, I was okay with it. Firing and hiring manager, getting players left and right, I was okay with it because it was successful. It was ups and downs, but winning Champions League. Like you won the league in 2014 and 15 and 17, right? And then in 2021, you won the Champions League. So it's ups and downs, but it's winning. But what happened lately is that you went and spent 600 million and your owner wants to be the face of the club. And I would, if I'm a Chelsea fan, I wouldn't even trust this ownership to buy the next player to be correct, to be the right one. You know what? To be the one that will fit in the squad. You're talking, there's only one senior player that has the contract expiring. It's N'Golo Kante. One. By the way, you said 5. There's only one. It's N'Golo Kante. Everybody else has 1 year left. 1 year left means you have to pay the wage for this guy or make a deal with him. So you'll have to pay him. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to pay him.
Yeah.
Like mutual consent means, yes, cut the contract, but maybe I'll pay you half the wage if you go find another club. But if this guy cannot find another club to pay the same wage, he's going to say, I want to get paid. I want to get paid my contract. And the problem is financial fair play goes to contracts as well. That's the problem.
So let me just double check your points. Your points about the contract length, the fact that you ignored the years and stuff, but even though we'll get onto that.
What years? What years? I'm talking about the ones that expire next year that are on a big contract. Not the new ones, forget about them.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones that are already on 100, 150, but they have 1 year.
One thing about Chelsea is that maybe you haven't read into it, is that Chelsea have got a relief clause in their financial fair play legislation because of the takeover.
Yep.
So it doesn't, normally for a normal club going through this situation, it would apply. But because of the takeover and the financial strain that caused, they're giving them a little bit more leeway when it comes to the gap of that. And when I talked about the
was involved in that.
Huh?
So it's on the government, in my opinion, that was written in that something.
So when you look at the contracts,
UK government was involved in this, so that's why they get a leeway for next season. But after that, it's going to affect us if we don't see profit and all.
And so again, when I also talked about the contracts, like I said, it will also depend on who they sell, because depending on who they sell, it actually increases their financial gain behind that.
Yeah.
And then when I said about, I think, what else? You said something else. I'm trying to remember. So you talked about the contract length, talked about players.
About 3 things: financial fair play and the suspension in Europe.
Yes.
Trust the contract length, the contracts on the players, and the trust. Trust this ownership to get it right.
Very good point. I do not trust these owners, but I do trust the recruitment team. So that's who I think are going to make the decisions this summer. I don't think Todd Bowley is going to be making the decisions. I think he will be able to have he's going to finance it, of course. He's going to be like, oh, I'm going to pay, how much are we going to pay and all of that kind of stuff. But I don't think he's going to be scouting or going to these boardroom meetings with these directors of football like last time, because I think what people have forgotten is the reason why we had to do that was because due to the government contractual, what was it? I think Marina Granovskaya was one of those people who had to basically forced out of Chelsea because of the fact of her affiliation with Roman Abramovich. So what they had to do was essentially operate as their own sporting director because of it, because they couldn't bring in someone that summer window, they actually wanted Michael Edwards. I think that was the guy they wanted, but he said he doesn't want to be a sporting director anymore. He wants to be like an agent or something. So then he just appointed this role, but people in their head think that he wanted to do it because he wants to be a sporting director. No, he's doing it because they had to in that situation because of the government freezing of the club. Now they've brought in these people to handle the recruitment. Paul Winstanley, Lawrence Stewart, Christopher Vell, different sectors, but I think Paul Winstanley is like the DOF basically. If they're handling the recruitment, I'm willing to trust them because I've seen positive signs from the January window to make me think, you know what, if we give them a summer window and they just have to address 2-3 players, I think they can do it.
Yeah. But
recently.
So you guys are confident that next year you'll be all right. You'll be up again.
Define all right. I guess that's what we've got to ask.
What is all right for you?
I think in Europe, Chelsea can be in Europe next year.
You're not going to be in Europe next year. How are you going to be in Europe?
So I mean, like in a European position next year.
Okay. So European Conference League, yeah.
No, they won't. Listen, no, Dawood, they won't. They're not going to play Europe next year. So, but
they're not. I think you say they're going to be in Europe next year.
No, so what I mean, he means I think they're going to be in European places, but comes the end of the season next year.
Yeah.
Top 4 or top 6, top 8?
The problem is I need to see...
Or winning the league like 2017?
No.
If we had...
That's too far.
I'll tell you what, if we had more understanding on like what we're doing up front, I would 100% be shameless, but I'm still not 100% on what we're doing with that. Honestly, it can go from anywhere. It can go from 4th to 8th, depending on how good the summer is. It genuinely depends on whether they address.
Well, the thing is, if you don't sign a top striker, you're not finishing in the top 4 because that's Chelsea's one of the biggest problems. Is you're bringing in Nkunku from RB Leipzig. He's not a striker. You've got Kai Havertz. He's not an out-and-out striker. You've got Sterling that can play up front. You want to bring back Joao Felix. He's not an out-and-out striker. There's a player that's available that's leaving Tottenham Hotspur, Harry Kane, £100 million that could guarantee you top 4 next season. And if you start messing around again and not sign a striker, you're not going to finish top 4 again.
So for me, the striker is the second most important.
Because if he don't get a long-term ban, then I think Chelsea are going for him.
Say that again. I'm sorry, Adrian. Say that again. Say that again.
I said if
you're a little bit faint, so.
Yeah, so if they what is about Harry? I think it's talking about Harry Kane.
You said what? Say that again.
No. Hello.
Yeah. You're good.
Yeah, I'm saying about Ivan Toney. If he doesn't get a big ban, then I think Chelsea are going after him because they are interested in him from long time, like 4 to 6 months.
So realistically, Sid, how many players Chelsea will sign?
2, 3, about the very most.
That's very realistic.
A goalkeeper, a DM, and a striker.
So you're gonna continue with Kukurea and Chilwell on the left, and like the 2 guys on the left. You're gonna continue with Koulibaly.
But the thing is, Cucurella is not a bad player. He's had a past season, but he was quality for Brighton last season.
I think the good thing for Chelsea is even if Cucurella is bad or good, they have a very, very good young player in Ian Maatsen coming through. So no matter, and Levi Colwill can play left back as well. So no matter what you guys think about who's going to play here or there, that back line is generally one of the best young cores in the world. Levi Colwill, Fofana, Badiashile, Trevor Chalobah, Reece James, Ben Chilwell, Ian Maatsen. It's a very, very strong.
But that's not enough. There's not enough senior defenders. That's the problem.
So that's the only thing. I think that's
and there's rumours that Thiago
What do you mean?
Silva
Say that again, Dawood. Say that again.
If Thiago Silva, there's rumours that he wants to go back to Brazil.
He's not leaving yet. He has 1 more year.
I know, but I think I don't think he's happy at the situation at Chelsea right now, and I think Chelsea would allow him to leave if they think that they don't need him in the long term.
I think it's more like he stays, but I think you are raising a good point.
Yeah, but if he leaves, you don't have enough senior centre backs and senior defenders.
Yeah.
So that might be a problem where you rely on your midfielders to become the leaders on the pitch, because Badashil, he's new in the game. Reece James has been in the game, but he's not consistent enough. He's always got an injury here and there. You've got Cucurella, but I don't think Chelsea fans really fancy Cucurella. I think they're going to give him one more chance next season, and I think that's it for him. But Ben Chilwell, there needs to be a question asked about Ben Chilwell, because he still hasn't had a full season at Chelsea, and he's been at Chelsea. He's going to be his third season.
Third season, yeah.
Yeah, and he's never had a full season.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair to have those questions. I just think the good thing is I'm not concerned at all with all due respect, all those concerns you gave to me. I don't think Thiago Silva's leaving. I think Bel Silva made that video recently, but I don't think he's leaving this season. Next season, I think he will. But
anyway, long may it continue the problems at Chelsea, because for the good of football, I'm sorry, Adrian, for the good of football, this model needs to fail.
Yeah,
I'm being serious. Genuinely, no hate, no jealousy. A little bit of jealousy, a little bit, because my club is
so poor. The idea of let's get it serious.
Okay, so let me finish this one point. Let me finish,
and then it'll make more sense.
Yes, before you respond, this Abramovich thing is something that I didn't mind. The only thing about Chelsea is that I'm giving you a little bit of sentiment because you were forced to sell the club. That's the little bit small thing, because you were forced by the government to sell the club from a very successful ownership in the last 20 years, right? But that spending money left and right, and I'm going to give you one example. Buying Koulibaly, one of the best center backs in the world, before joining you, and because it didn't work in 6 months, you went and bought Barishili as a younger, which is he's a similar profile. Chilwell, not working, buying Cucurella. Fofana, center back, got injured. Yes, injuries happen in football. My point is this model of, if it doesn't work in the short term, I'm just going to buy a new player, is something I don't like in football. And I think it ruins the market. And I think this is something I don't want to see in football. I want to see teams, spend money, but I don't want to see that model. That's my point.
So the one thing I disagree with, I don't think that's not a good definition of a model. First of all, that's a terrible definition of a model. I don't think you should say that ever again. No, what a model is footballing philosophy and style. I don't think.
No, I'm talking the model of running a club. It's a model.
That's not okay. So if you're saying about running a club, you're saying that if a young player comes in, is bought in the following window to usurp the older player, you don't like that. Is that
how much you bought Koulibaly for? 28 million pounds. How much did you pay for Paddy Shelley?
It was 30 million.
Same
exactly.
amount,
so it's the same money. My
but
point is,
the big difference is
you didn't go and buy a 10 million pound and develop the guy. Paddy Shelley, when you bought Paddy Shelley, he looks like an established centre back. He came in, slotted in, and played like a first team player.
Yeah, I can't lie. We did some mad financing on that one as well, because on the books,
again, you see what I mean? Like, finding the loophole is not helping your case.
If you're talking purely on the contract stuff, you don't like the idea of the long-term contract. I get that. I
just don't like having 10 players.
Well, what do you say that the reason why?
I disagree with you with the point of saying, I don't like a model of a team establishing young players and trying to develop them.
No. I like that. I like having young players, but listen, 100 million is not a young. Buying Mudryk for 100 million, that was crazy for me. Going and spending 120 for Enzo Fernandez was absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, but Mohammed, I just want to say one thing about the length of the contracts. I just want to say one thing about the length of contracts. Chelsea found a loophole in offering players 7, 8, 9-year contracts, where not other clubs were finding this loophole, and then obviously they took advantage of that. So I don't blame Chelsea for doing that. And then that's the reason why FIFA got involved and UEFA got involved, and then FIFA, and they said that you can only offer max, was it 5-year contract now? So they found a loophole, they took advantage of it, and
so let me tell you something, Dawood. If you are in a store and you find the blind spot for the cameras, are you allowed?
No, but that's doing something illegal. That's something they didn't do anything
but
that's illegal.
Not illegal in my opinion. No?
Illegally, they found a loophole.
Okay, so it's illegal. So you guys were saying if it's legal. But
Yes.
morally,
Yeah.
you're fine. With
Morally
what
is
Chelsea
wrong.
did.
Well, anything Chelsea morally
But here's
what
the
they're
thing,
doing.
though.
That's
If you're-
my
if you're-
point. I never
It's
said
completely
anything is
wrong.
If
illegal.
you're
By the way, I
debating
never
morals,
sat here and said it's
if
illegal.
you're debating morals, you've got problems with lots of clubs, my friend. Morals
There's a
in
lot of
football,
clubs, yes.
you're gonna
There's a lot of
you're gonna
clubs
hit
that
loads of
shouldn't-
clubs. You're gonna not like loads of models in football. You're not gonna love Arsenal. Arsenal were literally
Arsenal-
No,
bought
but
out of the bank.
Arsenal based on a self-sufficient club where anything that they make, they reinvest back into the
But the
club.
problem is
Chelsea-
Arsenal. I'm talking more Arsenal's original model, which was to create they were owned by bankers to basically
No, but
destroy
that's
the entire football
no,
pyramid.
but that's like we're going back into history where I'm talking about the here and now.
No morals
Here and
in
now.
football.
So
I
is
like
that
that.
is that all that matters? It depends when it happens. Is that what we're saying?
Here and
So
now,
it doesn't matter about
where-
the morals. It
To
depends
be honest,
when
it's
it
just
happens.
annoying, guys. I don't know how Chelsea fans are not seeing this amount of
No,
money.
I understand
I'm
your
not
point.
saying-
I'm just trying to ask you a question about.
Go ahead.
What
Ask me a
your
question.
opinion
I'll
on
answer
those
it.
things.
Ask me a question straight, and I'll answer.
Okay, so no. My only thing is, if your point is about morals, do you apply that same context to other models?
Yeah,
Yes,
if someone
100%.
if someone goes and spends 600 million in one window, I will absolutely hate the way they. I
It's
would
two
want
window
them to fail.
technically.
Huh?
So if
It's two window
someone
technically.
breaks the transfer window, if someone this summer, if someone spends 150 million on a midfielder, 50 million on, let's just say they spend 250
Okay, there's a
million
difference.
pounds.
If you go spend on Osimhen, okay, so context, right? If you go spend
Yeah.
on Osimhen 150 million,
So now context matters. But yeah, no, go on.
Yes,
No.
because-
But the problem.
No, it is,
Muhammad,
it is,
Muhammad,
I'm
Muhammad,
sorry.
I want to say one thing about
Moment,
Chelsea's model. Chelsea's model wasn't about. They weren't recruiting players
And we
after
get-
they were doing research on the players. The reason why a lot of clubs were upset with Chelsea is that Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, they'll be searching after these players. They'll be looking at these players, and then in the last second, Chelsea will come out of nowhere and then they'll just buy the player without no planning, no strategic planning, nothing. It's like Todd Bowley would be like, okay, Man City are interested in Cucurella.
It's the way we don't
Man
like
City are
Paris
interested in Cucurella.
Saint-Germain,
Okay, let's go
right?
get him. Arsenal are interested in Modric. Let's go get him. Enzo Fernandez, he did well in the World Cup. Let's go get him. There's no planning in what Chelsea have been doing in the summer
They're
transfer
gonna
window and
get,
January transfer
they're
window.
gonna get Declan Rice, Dawood, and you're gonna just cry.
And if they had a plan, they said we're gonna buy young players, and then Todd Bowley said
Is
we're gonna
Enzo
keep
Fernandez not
we're gonna
part
keep
of a
Graham
good
Potter.
midfield?
Todd Bowley said
Horad,
we're keeping
okay,
Graham
so-
Potter. Yeah.
Horad, I want to answer this. I'm sorry. I want to move on from Chelsea because Jarvis in the background and he has
Yeah.
to join.
Yeah,
1.5 billion debt. I'm only reporting what I open Google and read about 4 or 5 articles and then come here and say this.
That's
I am
another
not,
issue with Chelsea.
I
as
am
well.
not in Chelsea's back room. You know what I mean? I don't sit on the table with them and see the books. That's
Yeah,
what
I'll be
do.
honest as
You
well.
know what
a
I
lot of
mean?
reporting
Like,
with Chelsea is not very good, bro. So you got to be careful with that. You got to be
Yeah,
very
but-
careful with who you trust.
because
a lot of the way no
we
one really
just
knows
have
who's
to sit
with
here.
Chelsea.
So we just have to sit here and just okay. Chelsea spend the money. We're okay with it.
If that's your point, 100%, I understand that. I think that's fair.
That's my
I
point.
think-
That's the only point
yeah.
is that the amount of money you spend.
But then
Is
don't
that-
do
is that
all
it?
of this modeling and all this. Just say that.
But it is a model.
No,
Okay.
but the way you said it, you were
word
talking
model-
about
the
football
word
and
model is
structure
that
and
the word
idea and
model-
philosophy. You just
No,
just
the
say the
word
money.
model. It is no. There is a difference between the word model means when a club goes for youngsters and develop them,
Yeah.
and a club goes to the market and overspend everybody else and outbid everybody else for that player. That's a way of running your club. That's a way of bringing players. That's a way of building a
Yeah.
squad. There are other people that bring in a piece after a piece as a year after a year, and there are other clubs that go and say, you know what, we're gonna go sign free agents only. Juventus did this one
Yeah,
time.
Juventus, 2013. Yeah.
Exactly. And some other clubs will say, we'll buy piece by piece. But Chelsea said, you know what? I'm going to buy all these players, try to fit them in together and see how it goes. It's exactly what happened this year.
I think that's your inference on how a season has played out and your assumption that how it has
Oh,
gone.
yeah. One of my problems,
But-
Adrian, is that it didn't succeed. That's
No,
one
but
of the
my
problems.
point is, this is gonna go.
I'm
on
gonna
for
get
really
guys.
long.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's
give
way
you.
too
I'm gonna give you
Yeah,
extra.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm gonna give you extra 2 minutes because I need Jarvis to join. Just 2 minutes max.
I think this conversation will go on for way too long if we keep
Exactly,
going on
I know,
for
yes.
Mo's personal vendettas and his
It is a
ideologies.
vendetta.
But
It's a personal thing.
Nah, well, you did say it at the beginning of our conversation, but yeah.
I am very. By the way, I don't hide it, and Sid knows. I said it many times.
Yeah.
No, it's fair. It's fair.
I'm not
You
hiding
support an
it.
Italian club. I understand it completely.
Exactly. I'm poor,
Yeah.
and you're actually inflating the market even more.
But all I'll say is the market value. It's going to look very interesting.
But I want to
in a
know
year's
what
time.
you are
But
saying
yeah, I do
about
hear you. I do hear.
Bellingham. Mo.
Huh?
But what are you going to say about Bellingham? Because he is going for the same amount that Enzo went.
Again, Bellingham. I think he's one of the superstars of the world. For some reason, that thing is different.
So
than-
what has this is my last
Enzo
point.
wasn't like Enzo market value every euro is like 60 million. But anyway, that's for a long story. I gotta move on from Chelsea. We have spent 40 minutes talking
Big up,
about
man.
Chelsea, and I got thank
Yeah.
you guys, both of you, for joining us. Absolutely
Appreciate it, guys.
enjoyed it. It was fantastic and great, and hopefully we'll see you guys. So
Good
thank you,
night,
Sid.
guys.
Good night.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have kind of like a strange mix now. It's gonna be Jarvis, who's a Man United fan, I can tell, right from behind, and Olu, an Arsenal fan. So we have a Man United fan and two Arsenal, Dawood and Olu.
Yeah.
So I don't know where to start, to be honest. Jarvis has been
Let's-
waiting for a bit. But
Should we just start off with Man United and
you will start with Man
and
United, and
concerning-
Olu has always something to
Champions
say about Man United. Always.
Yeah.
So Jarvis, what are you here to say, my man?
Yeah, big up everybody. Big up to the chat and big up Mo and everybody in the panel. It's good to be here finally. I've been a moderator for a long time, but okay, it was a calling show, so I figured I can just jump on and see how it goes. So I want to talk about the game today. It was against with Man United and Wolves. I don't know if you have covered it already or.
We didn't, not yet, not
yet, no.
fully.
No, yeah, because it was an important win. You know, it was a
Yeah.
scruffy win. United didn't impress me at all. You know, they have moments, but they are really suffering, especially after Martinez got injured. So I'm not happy with the state of the club at the moment. But hopefully we can get over the line and take the top four. But I'm not sure how it will go because we have a couple of difficult games left. So, today was a very important win, and what I'm really happy about is Garnacho coming back, because you know that kid, he's a wonder kid. He's a star in the making, and what he did in the last 10 minutes, he just got 10 minutes. I don't know what Ten Hag was thinking, because Wolves were pushing up and they left a big back line, so it was easy to run behind, but we didn't have any pace on top. We had Weghorst and Sancho and Anthony. So finally Garnacho came on and he did his thing. Brilliant pass from Bruno, and Garnacho, he just put it in the goal. And the moment when he scored, you know, it was like a relief, because it was more of a relief than joy. And he just took his shirt off, run down to the corner flag and cheered with the fans. So I'm really happy he's back and he can help out in the top four race. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So you think this? Just a question about Man United. You think this home form is the thing that will save you? What do you want to see from the away form next year? How do you want to see it improve? How do you think you should improve it in the away form?
Yeah, first of all, we need new players, and because the same group of players has been the usual suspects, have been bottling it for the last 5, 6, 7 years. So we need to step up the game, and I think first of all, Maguire will leave in the summer, and there's other players that not doing well. We have players like Sancho, who is not living up to his potential. Maybe he could leave in the summer also, but we need signings. Hopefully we get the Qatar in, so we got money, but you never know. It looks like Ratcliffe and Ineos now is having the highest bid. So, but it's just paper talk. We never know. It's NDAs and all that. So we will see when time comes. I think we can. Ten Hag has had a season to learn, the same as you remember. You remember Pep in his first season. He also struggled with the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's a tough league. It's hard to adapt. So hopefully, Ten Hag will learn to set up his team in a different way when we go away. He's a little bit naive in his approach, I think, and
Yeah.
he can definitely do better.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Can I say something actually? And as Mo says, I always got a lot to say about United. I think part of the problem United have had away from home, to answer that question that Mo has, is that I think the only football that sort of still stays with this team, Ten Hag hasn't eradicated. And what I mean by that is that this idea of always having to counter attack. I feel like when you go away from home, especially against smaller teams, you have to go and dominate the game. You have to go essentially kill them, kill the fans in terms of their passion, their excitement to the game. I feel like every time I watch United, I always feel like they're inviting pressure. And by inviting pressure, they're putting themselves into more positions where they can concede. And I think next year, Ten Hag has almost do. I'll put it this way: Arteta's first season, if anyone can remember, we essentially played almost the same. We went to a back three. I mean, it's different formation, but we invited so much pressure and we weren't scoring enough goals. And every time we invited pressure, I just felt like we will concede, especially away from home. I feel like United have got to change the mentality from being this counter-attacking team, which, of course, when you've got someone like Rashford and you've got that pace behind, it's a good weapon. But change from that counter-attacking team to, okay, we're going to go to some games and we're going to actually dominate the ball and we're going to kill the game or pass them to death. And yes, sometimes we'll go counter-attack when it's needed, like we did against Leeds earlier this season when we won 1-0. We defended for our lives and counter-attacked. But for other games as well, we controlled the ball. And I think if there's one thing that I've heard a lot from United fans, it's this idea of Ten Hag's style of football. And he hasn't really shown that style of football. And maybe it's the old habits die hard, or maybe it's just that maybe he doesn't yet know how to coach that in this league in comparison to maybe someone like a Pep and Arteta, who's obviously lent on the Pep as well. And I don't see United having a huge upswing in form next year unless they make some serious fundamental changes to not just the players, but also the style of football.
But you don't think if they add like 3-4 players in the summer? No, it doesn't. You don't have to be 100 million. You add a striker, they add another midfielder, they add Kim and Jay. You don't think that should change the way they play massively? Like today, Varane gave the ball away like 5 times in a row, which was very strange. But I think Varane was never good with his feet. Varane was never a guy to play from the back.
Yeah,
He's a strong defender. He has Champions League Varane, all this blah 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 talk. But he just can't play long balls. He cannot pass the ball on the ground. He doesn't know where to stand when the goalkeeper has the ball. Someone like Kim and Jay can help with this.
Yeah, but I mean, just to answer, sorry for before Jarvis jumps in again. The fundamental issue is that if you've got someone like Bruno, who is essentially the linchpin of the starting of the attack, right? So the arguments could be made. Martinez also starts the attack as well, and you've seen the difference in having not having Martinez in defense. But if you go further up the field and you're the person who controls the tempo, the way the game plays, is someone like Bruno, who is looking for the quick pass as opposed to the sort of. I go back to someone like Odegaard, like the pass before the pass, right? No, everything has to be a Hollywood pass. Sometimes it has to be 5 yards, get space, and I think unless you fundamentally change that conductor from someone who is a rock star Hollywood sort of player to someone who actually is going to take his time and make the right decision, I think fundamentally United will still always have this issue of having to go long all the time with the ball, because that's just his mentality. It's just to rush through things 100 miles an hour as opposed to control the pace of the game.
Yeah, 100%. Fatur, welcome. Chelsea.
Yo.
You guys, you know that with the background, that the blurry background, you guys know that there is a massive delay in your talk, right?
Right.
Olu
I'll take it off.
But anyway, Jarvis, you're here to talk about Man United more, so give us the insights more.
Yeah, to go on next season with Ten Hag, he likes to play. He likes to play out from the back. That's one of the key issues in his play. He likes to play out from the back, control the game, shift play, and all that stuff. Because that's the way he used to do in Ajax. Now we have a big problem with the Gea. He won the Golden Globe today, and but he has his obviously deficiencies. He lack of sweeping, cross claiming. He doesn't command his back line, and he does possess the ball playing abilities, but it's one thing that you got to remember: it's ball playing abilities under pressure. That's the key point. And when it comes to pressure, he always pings the ball, hoofs the ball up for a duel. So he needs to improve that part of the game.
Can I interject here and just say something? Courtois doesn't know how to play from the back, and Madrid look fantastic always.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I don't know how Madrid basically played, because Ancelotti, he's like just a feel good guy.
But you see my point. Like not every goalkeeper is gonna be Manyan, Onana, Edison, Costa from. Not every goalkeeper.
Yeah, but if you watch that Man City Real Madrid game, how many times did Real Madrid play at the back? Hardly ever.
They try.
Most of the time they went long.
We only
they played
watched
the
them
low block
against Man
system.
City, Dawood. It's only against Man City that you see that. But other games, I see Madrid.
I know, but
if from the back and
Real Madrid's midfield is completely different to Man United's midfield. If you've got Modric, who's press resistant, you've got Toni Kroos, who's probably one of the best passers to ever play the game, and then you obviously got someone like Camavinga asking for the ball in midfield. So comparing that to Man United, we've got Fred, McTominay. Casemiro is good on the ball, but he's not as good as Casemiro or Modric. So Man United have got a long way to go. I think they need to go sign a couple of players in the midfield position before they can change the goalkeeper position. Because I think goalkeeper right now is not a priority. I think on the defense and getting actual ball playing midfielders. Because McTominay and Fred, if you still got McTominay and Fred playing games for you, it's going to be a long time until you challenge for the league title.
Yeah, but also to add to that, I mean, Spain. I mean, in England, we play 100 miles an hour football, right? And the other difference is this: that Man United invite pressure, trying to play from the back by giving the ball to De Gea, right? So,
all I'm hearing is blah blah. Blah blah. You know why I'm hearing that, right? Because Arsenal went out to Sporting Lisbon and Man United went out to Sevilla. But you are here to tell me that you play 100 miles an hour and the Spanish football is slower.
No,
blah blah.
You missed the point. The point I'm trying to make is that De Gea will have more chances with the ball on his feet because it's end to end than Courtois will have at Real Madrid, because in Spain, if the ball's played mostly in the midfield and not going back and forth in the same way in the UK or in England, the probability is that Courtois is going to have less touches. So the Gea's problem is that it's not the fact that he makes mistakes; it's the fact that he has to probably pass the ball out maybe 3 times more than Courtois does. So he's 3 times more likely to make a mistake. That's the point I'm trying to make. So it's not about the quality of the game in Spain versus England or in Portugal. It's just that De Gea just by probability has to do it more. And I think, when he was younger, he was actually quite good at his feet. I think he's just regressed. And this idea of the modern game, I think the problem is that he's just getting old, and maybe his reaction speed isn't as good as it was before. And it's not just about the fact that he can't play the ball. It's just maybe he's just old, and it's just that time where you have to move on. But if you put Courtois in this United team and take away saving the ball and ask him to kick as many times as De Gea, will you have the same number of mistakes coming from him? I don't know.
I'll tell you what. People were saying that De Gea cannot pass the ball. But I'm watching the game today, and a couple of times, Varane would pass him the ball and watch him and stand like this. And instead of running, sprinting to the empty space to receive the ball back. That's what Lisandro Martinez does. That's what Saliba does. By the way, that's what Gabriel does to Ramsdale. Sometimes, because I played football, I'm not going to claim I played like the highest level in the world, but I played football under really good coaches, right? And they always say, your goalie is as good with his feet as your movement as a center back, as fullbacks. If you don't move to the empty space, if you don't create an angle for him to pass, There is no way you're gonna look. He's gonna look terrible all the time, and that's what Man City. The even Ederson is a different story, but even with Bravo, even before they move, your defenders don't move. Wan-Bissaka doesn't always move to create an angle for the center for the goalkeeper. They just don't, because I'm not sure if it's a no trust issue. I'm not sure if it's a practice training issue, something like this. But
I'd say it's a coaching issue. And again, sorry, Jarvis, to speak a lot on United, but one thing that I remember, one of the things that and there's a clip with Arteta where he talks about players receiving the ball moving as opposed to being stationary because it gives less. I mean, he was talking more up the field, but I think the same principle still lie. Still lie. He was talking about how he wants his wingers to be moving into space and you're passing into space because you're less likely to get closed down than if you're staying stationary. I think the same thing happens in defense as well. To most points, if your defenders are mobile and moving out and not standing still, then De Gea just has to put it into space as opposed to having to put it direct to foot, where deficiency starts to show in terms of his passing accuracy. So it's kind of weird that the guy who's going to win the Golden Glove is being spoken about in such negative terms. And I know it takes more than just a goalkeeper to win the Golden Glove, but it's just, yeah. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I've enjoyed seeing De Gea make mistakes. I can't lie to you. I mean, it's been quite funny, but at the same time, I think it's slightly unfair as well in terms of the criticism that he gets. But I mean, as a United fan, of course, you'd want to get better than this because challenging for fourth place isn't where, as a United fan, you want to be. You want to be challenging for the top positions, not against the likes of Newcastle and okay, I'll say Liverpool, but Liverpool this season for fourth place.
Yeah, I think Mo was touching on a really interesting subject. About the movement of the fullbacks and centre backs when the goalkeeper has the ball. It's very important to move fast but the thing I was trying to say when Ten Hag plays out, he plays usually a 2-3-2-3 formation, and the two center backs are alone with the goalkeeper when you play out from the back, and they do that because they want to create overloads. That's the key. You want to create overloads. So without De Gea, we struggle to do that. We struggle to move up the fullbacks in the midfield, the inverted fullback, and push up rest of the lines to create overloads. That's a big problem. So I hope that we get a goalkeeper. I would make it my number one priority to get a good goalkeeper before I get a midfielder or a center back or even striker, because that's so important for me. But De Gea, it's no agenda against De Gea. He's a great goalkeeper. He won the Golden Glove, and I hope that we can win the FA Cup semi-final, and we can say thank you for your service. You have been a loyal servant, and good luck with the rest of your career, because he's been that good. I'm not hating on De Gea, but we need another kind of goalkeeper with other abilities.
Would you,
okay.
for that question, would you want like a big name goalkeeper coming in, or would you say actually let's find someone who's not necessarily that big a name but has maybe the attributes or the potential attributes? So I think of Onana, for example. I mean, prior to a couple of seasons back, he wasn't really a big name, but obviously he's become quite popular. As a United fan, is that something you'd want to see Ten Hag do, or would you think that actually a big name is a big, because it's Man United, there has to be a big name as well, because you've had history of big name goalkeepers: Van der Sar, Peter Schmeichel, Fabian Barthez. I mean, those are massive, okay, maybe not Barthez, but those you're talking about goalkeepers who are actually not even Barthez, goalkeepers who are in the pantheon of best goalkeepers that have ever played the game.
Yeah, it's an interesting question because a goalkeeper, it's a very tough job to be a goalkeeper, especially in a big club like Man United. You have to have the right mentality. If you don't have the right mentality, you will be effed. You don't have a chance. So you can't just pick a goalkeeper based on abilities. He needs to have the right mentality, and you don't know, but experience is extremely important. So it will be better. I will prefer a big name goalkeeper, But Ten Hag, he has a brilliant track record of getting players, signing players. So I will trust his judgment.
Okay. I want to move on from Man United and talk about Arsenal. Also, but before Fatur, what do you want to say, my man? Before we go to Arsenal, what do you want to say?
I'm just curious on, because I know.
By the way, we spent 45 minutes on Chelsea, but go ahead. I'm gonna
No,
give you the respect.
no, you know, I'm not gonna say that much, to be fair. Pretty much, you guys already covered for 45 minutes. Like,
Are you happy with Pochettino first, or you were expecting a better manager?
I was expecting a bit of better at the moment, but with the board, with the move on the board, kind of move like a bit of, a bit weirdly and that. But yeah, I didn't. All jokes aside, at the end of the day, I just think they trying to rectify their mistakes, trying to find the good manager at least, and I feel like they're gonna give her 3 years long a contract, 3 years of contract. That's the aim for.
That's okay. 3 years is not a lot, but
Yeah, and I just think like, even though people might not like it, but the project and that, but I just, you know what? I just hope it works for him at the end of the day. And you know what? If we can go back in next 3 years' time to this day, let's say if he wins a couple of trophies along the way.
There's a couple of trophies. It's like a couple of trophies. He's like, if you wins couple of I love this as Chelsea fans. He wins a couple of trophies on the way.
Just a couple of trophies, just a bit,
just a bit.
A bit of domestic cup next season in it. So,
fantastic. Can people in the chat stop talking about Onana? Like, just stop. He's done. Over.
Sorry, I was gonna say most like getting nervous right now. But I was gonna say some people have actually disrespecting Barthez, not realizing that like what if you look at Barthez, what Barthez
he was
won,
a bozo, bro. He was a bozo.
Yeah, he was a bozo towards the end of his career. But you don't win the Champions League, the World Cup, and European Championship, and not.
Well, Victor Valdez won won hundreds of trophies. Anyway, let's talk about Arsenal. You guys confident about Brighton? Jarvis, if you want to stay. We have nobody waiting in the back, so you're all right.
I can stay. That's okay.
Yeah. We can actually chit chat this. Dawood, Brighton, are you confident? By the way, if you haven't met, you're on mute, Dawood, and if you haven't met Olu before, Arteta is number one for him. So yeah.
Oh, I'd love to hear that. Absolutely love to hear that. Yeah, I'm confident against Brighton. There was some rumours that I think David Ornstein came out and said season's over for William Sleep and for Zinchenko. And then today, there was images of Zinchenko in training for tomorrow's game. So I don't know who's feeding these rumours to David Ornstein, because I thought Tierney playing against Brighton, the way we play, the way we try to control the ball and to control the game, Tierney might have struggled. Then when I hear that Zinchenko's back in training, I'm a bit more confident. We're back in form. We've won our last 2 games. Jorginho's playing out of his... I've never seen Jorginho play like that for Chelsea for a long time. So playing like this for Arsenal right now when we need him, I'm confident. And the crucial part is that Man City are playing before us. So if Man City drop any points against Everton at Goodison Park, that will give these players extra motivation to go and beat Brighton. And De Zerbi came out with the comments after losing against Everton 5-1. He said, you'll see the real Brighton against Arsenal on Sunday. Is that a threat to this club? Because Brighton have got no chance against us at the Emirates. We're a fortress there. I think we've only lost 2 games at the Emirates.
He said it.
I'm confident. I see us... we've got Kirill playing out of his pocket, like he's playing quality. Rob Holding's out of the team. We've got Ben White right back. We've got Zinchenko fit. So I don't see no problem against Brighton. I see easy 3 points, and I see us winning the game comfortably. So what do you think?
I was with you until you said it was easy. I mean, let's Brighton have I'm pretty sure Brighton have beaten us maybe like twice in the past 3 times at home we've played them, maybe even 4 now, because they beat us in the FA I was going to say Carling Cup. That's how old I am. In the Carabao Cup, and then twice in the league. Maybe not last season, but the season before that, and then another season where I remember Basuma was laughing in the background. I mean, I say this to say not to be negative as an Arsenal fan, just to be realistic in terms of that. I think the Zerbi is right. You are going to see the real Brighton in terms of they're going to play better than they play against.
They have Ferguson back. They got Ferguson back. But also, I just think that game was an aberration in terms of how they usually play. So they're going to come out and they're going to play against Arsenal. And now the difference is going to be, if it's a shootout, who's going to be better in the shootout between Arsenal and Brighton? Now, I would say Arsenal should be better, especially being at home. And also with the likes of Martinelli and Odegaard sort of playing well now. But I just don't think it's not going to be as easy as just saying Brighton going to turn up and we're going to beat them 3-0. I think if we underestimate Brighton, like the same way we underestimated Southampton, you could be in for a shock. And if City were to win, I could see one of those horrible days where you just sort of sat there just looking at the screen thinking, God, what's happened? Again, that's not for me to be negative and say I don't think Arsenal are going to win. I always just say temper your expectations when it comes to games like this, especially if it's going to be quite jittery, basically.
Well, we were worried about the players against Newcastle. We thought Newcastle are banging form. Going to Goodison Park. I mean, not Goodison Park, St James's Park. We thought that's going to be a tough game. We went there, we performed, and I'm only saying we're confident against Brighton because of the way we performed against Newcastle, and we won back-to-back games. So these players have proved themselves all season. So I'm not going to write them off now with 3 games left in the season. So I see us winning. I see us winning comfortably, and I see us. I hope Man City drop any points, because if they do, it's going to be very, very bad.
My scenario tomorrow would be Man City to lose to Everton, and then Arsenal go and lose to Brighton.
Respectfully, I want Everton to go down. I just can't stand it.
I do, but I also want some excitement. Come on. Imagine if Man City win against Everton. That game is going to be dull between Arsenal and Brighton. I think it's going to be dull, to be honest.
Imagine both teams loses on the same day.
That would be fantastic. That would be absolutely fantastic. That would be so much fun. A lot of jokes. But a lot of jokes.
All jokes aside, like I can see Brighton causing an upset. I'm not even joking here.
Isn't even an upset if Brighton win?
Hey,
we're not Chelsea. We're not Chelsea.
Can I chip in?
Yeah,
of course.
To be honest, I wouldn't underestimate Brighton. They are a really great team. You have the Serbi ball. That's incredible. He plays out from the back. They invite pressure. They can really get Arsenal if they are clinical. And they have Ferguson back. He's great. And the South American guy who's playing the 10. What's his name again? Enciso. Yeah, he looks great. Looks like a good player. So Arsenal, they can easily lose that game if Brighton are up for it. So and to be honest, Arsenal haven't looked like 10 out of 10 the last 7-8 games. They are declining, and I'm not sure if the pressure is going to take them or not. No disrespect to Arsenal, they have had a great season, but we're at the end of the season and now the pressure is on. So for me, I think maybe Arsenal can bottle it and City will most likely win. So all the excitement and in the Premier League will probably be gone after tomorrow.
So Jarvis, you think City chances of winning tomorrow is more than Arsenal chances of winning tomorrow?
Yeah. Because of City, they look so good at the moment. They are look invincible.
But Arsenal just beat Newcastle away, which is nobody beat Newcastle away.
No. I'm with Jarvis. I think if you go probability-wise, Man City beating Everton, despite Goodison Park and the fact they find for their life, I think it takes one goal for Man City to kill the atmosphere. And Man City are the masters of passing the ball to death. It's a death by 1,000 cuts or 1,000 passes, right? That's Man City's game. So they get one goal. I think Everton are done. I think Arsenal, where it's a shootout, like I said, that's where there's a higher likelihood of a loss. Now, I don't think Arsenal will lose, and I don't usually predict Arsenal losing. I did predict we'll lose at Man City. That's the only one I thought. But yeah, I'm with Jarvis. I see there's a higher probability of us losing. Whether it happens or not, it's going to be a different case.
Arsenal got to be patient as well. They got to be patient. Come on.
I think this is going to be the first game at home when they don't have the ball. It's the first game Arsenal will be at home without having the ball. Like Man City, I think against Brighton, they didn't have the ball in both games. Like nobody can hold positions against Brighton for some reason. This guy De Zerbi has that a way of like holding the ball and having the ball.
I don't know if you heard this rumors that I heard De Zerbi's planning to go back to Italy. I heard this rumors.
He's not happy with Brighton. If I was Spurs, I would pay this guy 15 million to join the club.
Don't do it. Don't do it. That's career suicide, man.
What do you think? What do you think he wants a race?
I think what?
Do you think he wants a race? Like you said, he's not happy.
He wants yes, because he's not happy with them publicly. Okay for selling Caicedo, okay for selling McAllister. Like he's not happy with that approach. The guy wants to win as well. Like he joined the Premier League because it's the league that has the money. Like he could have stayed in Italy or went back to it. He joined the Premier League because he thought, yeah, I'm getting that step in my career where I can build my own team instead of working with what I have. But now he's working with the players, and then they're telling him, "Oh, you might have to sell your best players." So of course he's not happy. The guy's not happy.
Mo, do De Zerbi play like a Italian style of football?
No, it's a very expensive brand of football that it all depends on a one-on-one and isolation and isolating a winger with a player. He's a vet, like he used to do. It's a solo as well, like isolate a winger with a defender and assume that the winger will eat the defender 9 out of 10 times. And he does that with Mitoma and Siso all the time.
I studied a little bit of De Zerbi, so he likes to invite pressure. They just stand and put their foot on the ball and wait. And when they come, you have the pivot, and the pivot just shifts, and then the ball comes. So so they play like a possession-based counter-attack football. So it's very strange.
They drag you. They drag you and then isolate one of the wingers or one of the forwards as a defender. That's the whole point. He wants the winger to be facing the defender, which is anyway. He makes it work somehow with whatever player he has. It doesn't matter if it's Caicedo. It doesn't matter if it's this guy, the Chelsea guy. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Colwell.
No, the what's his name? You guys know who I'm talking about.
Chelsea.
Gilmore. The Gilmore kid. It doesn't matter if it's Pascal Gross. It doesn't matter who plays. They all execute the same exact thing, which shows a great way of coaching a team, to be honest. It's just that's what I thought Arteta would do with Rob Holding, but he didn't. It's not a banter. I really thought in the beginning of Rob Holding, like when he started playing, I saw that he was doing exactly the same thing as Saliba, but then 1-2 games and he started booting the ball, hitting the ball to the throw-ins instead of holding it down.
Yeah, no,
that's the quality of the player. It's not because of the system.
But sometimes you can teach that. You can teach that.
It's very hard because he's been Arsenal for a long time. He's been there since Wenger days. So it's not one of them ones. He's a new hungry player where he's been around the block, and we've seen it that Arteta's given him a chance since Saliba's injured, and he has improved it. So I don't see him at the club next season. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he has that winning mentality. Because that famous video of him last season on Amazon Prime when they asked him, "Oh, how come you're always smiling?" He said, "Oh, I'm happy to be here." He's never angry being on the bench. He doesn't have high expectation for himself. So I don't see him at the club next season.
I'll keep him. I would keep him. I call it the Rob Holding protocol, right? It's Arsenal, 89th minute, 2-1 up, and the Rob Holding protocol gets unleashed.
No, but now you've got Kyrgios.
That's what he comes in. You put him in a back five, returns to a back five, and you know the game's over. And the problem is that we started unleashing the Rob Holding protocol from the first minute, and it was like, oh shit, it's not the same. No, No, look, I hear that he's not quite, but also, I mean, I think the reason why he's at a club is because, and this is so cheesy, but I think that personality he has, and he probably brings the players together, and sometimes teams have players where you think it's pretty weird this player is still at this club, but the manager keeps him for a reason. I mean, you go back with Arsenal, we had likes of Gilles Gremondi and Ole Luchny, and you know, I was going to say Stepanos, but Stepanos was never that good. But yeah, some of these players where you think why we moved on from them, and the reason is just because the coaches have a reason for having them behind him, despite the lack of quality. But yeah, going back to the game tomorrow, I think it's going to be an interesting one. And actually, Mum, I've got to pull you up on something that I said yesterday, right? And I think you missed
I
the
said
point.
or you said?
I said that you said. You missed the. I think you missed the point of what I was trying to make when I said that Arsenal. It's kind of crazy that Arsenal have had one loss in 14 games.
And I ripped into you.
Crazy.
I ripped
you ripped
into
into
you.
me.
Oh my days.
You
I
ripped
ripped
into me.
you.
And the point I was trying to make was that if you were to take that stat out of context, most people would say that's a pretty amazing sort of run
Yeah.
to be
Okay.
on.
Okay. Thank you for explaining. Yeah. Go ahead.
But the point I was trying to make is that's how good Man City, who I never thought would go on a run this good, have gone. The fact that you can go 1 in 14 in terms of a loss, and you're throwing 3 draws in that, and still Man City have gotten a much better run. And in other sort of situations, you say that's actually okay if you're going to go for the league, but we just had to be perfect, and we lost the ability to go perfect in that period of time. And I think it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt when you see at the end of the season, the blue is the ribbons around the trophy as opposed to red. I mean, I really, really thought that Arsenal would do it this
I
season.
actually don't think that shows how good Man City are, because you dropped points against Southampton and West Ham, and you dropped 2 points against Liverpool, being 2-0 up, and even being 2-1 up in the last 5 minutes, and also having the chance to win the game. So you should have had kind of the same run or close to it. And if I would accept it, or I would understand it, not accept it. It's not my place to accept or not, but to understand it. If you dropped point against Newcastle, for example, or you dropped point against Man City, now we would say yes, you went to tough places and you dropped point. That has nothing to do, by the way, with your run. It's just a hard place to go and play football. But my problem was, yes, you drew games, you didn't lose, but you really dropped the leagues in an unexpected. If you ask any Arsenal fan or any fan, the Arsenal would drop the league against Southampton and West Ham, they'll tell you you're crazy. There was no sign of this. There was not even one sign that you would lose points against these two teams. Not even one. That's my point.
But that's also feeds to my point in the fact that even though we drop points, if we just to take that stat out of context of seeing of how we dropped it, like it's just Man City I've sort of hit the stride and become perfect, because in that period of time where we drop points, you would think another team would also drop points as well. Like I'm used to back in the old days with United, for example. We would drop points and the United would draw a game, and we'll lose a game, and United would win, and then United would lose. But Man City just machine-like, just continue, and they just hit that form. So I was sort of just trying to put that into context that you can go 1 in 14 and still lose the league by 4 points, or still bottle, for people who want to say it, bottle the league by 4 points.
It is.
They're just gonna find a way tomorrow. They'll beat Everton.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm not.
I just think
Everton's
gonna go down. That's it.
I am not someone who, like, especially because if this was Everton home, I would say it's 100% or 95%. But just because it's away, I don't know. Maybe Everton will turn up. You remember, nobody expected Everton to get anything out of City, and they drew at the Etihad. Nobody. City were bad, but they weren't that bad to draw against Everton at the Etihad. Sometimes football will surprise you. But anyway, we've been going for an hour and a half, and there are no more callers, and I gotta go out now. And it's been It's a.
I'm just quickly give my prediction for the Everton Man City game and the Arsenal.
Go ahead.
Brighton
Yeah.
game. I'm gonna
On
give my
record.
quick one.
On. You always like to go on record.
Yeah, because I said the Newcastle Arsenal game. I said Arsenal will win comfortably, so I got that right. Arsenal Brighton 3-1 to Arsenal against Brighton, and Everton Man City 1-1.
Oh,
You hear it here first.
Wow.
it's the hope that kills. Wow. Jarvis, let me get your prediction.
Which games?
Both.
Tomorrow.
Or maybe let me get your predictions for the game that played today earlier. No, go ahead.
I wasn't paying
Everton, Man
attention.
City.
Sorry. I think both teams will win tomorrow, but it's going to be a tight game with the Brighton Arsenal game.
But you don't think Everton will be tight game?
No, I don't think so. I don't
Okay,
think so.
okay.
Just because City are that good at the moment. Of course, Everton are fighting for their life, so you never know. But I think City will be too good. Everton don't have the class to beat City. Never. So
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, all again. My wife is giving me sushi.
Nice. Everton, Man City, 4-0 Man City. Arsenal, Brighton, 2-1, maybe 3-1 to Arsenal.
Arsenal. Okay, Fatur.
Nice.
I say Everton lost 3-0 to Man City and probably a draw. Okay, boring 0-0 draw.
Arsenal and Brighton 0-0.
Yeah.
Brighton lost 5-1 and they had 4 XG.
I'm not even joking. I think it'll be a draw. A boring-
Arsenal cannot do boring draws. We just can't. It's a bit like Tottenham.
Hey,
Tottenham
Deserby,
don't know how to
man. Deserby, do your dark arts, man.
Do you think I don't think Deserby's going to come in and just put back 5. I mean, Mo said he's not the sort of
He's never
typical
gonna
I
say
think
Italian.
that.
he'll
The guy
play.
doesn't
I
even
think
know
he'll
how
play
to do
for a
it.
draw.
Bro, the
Yeah.
guy doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know. He just doesn't know.
Yeah, it might be, you're better off saying like a 2-2 draw as
listen,
opposed to a 0-0.
If I don't get this,
I'm being nice then. 1-1. 1-1. Why not?
one season, I think the Derby at Sassuolo, I think they scored 60 something goals and they conceded 60 goals. I think something like this.
1-1.
It's crazy. But anyway, thank you for everybody that watched and haven't hit that like button. Not thank you because you haven't hit that like button yet. So before you go out, hit that like button and also leave a comment after the show is done. Please leave a comment, whatever comment, just say anything. Just a comment. And thanks for everybody that joined. And I think we're just out of here. And on tomorrow, Rivals Not Virus. See you.
Yes.